Let me show you the agenda of what we do when we practice. 15 minutes of accordion practice. We do the same agenda of scales, triads, and arpeggios, incremental chord jumps, left hand, and then song practice. We're going to practice this for intermediate accordion. So let's do it. And this will answer your question, Ivo. So beginner accordion players, we're going with the correct fingering for the C major scale. We're still going to do that, maybe with different scales, with a D major, G major, whatever it is. But what I'd like intermediate accordion players to do is to start introducing more complex dynamics and fingering in your scale. And Ivo, what that means is the 1-5, if you want to do this, it's starting to do that. It's figuring out your own fingering for multi-fingered melodies in a scale. It might start off with scales in octaves. What that means for me is different fingering. I use 1-4-1-5, 1-4-1-5. But it's starting to do these little exercises. I don't do these exercises. I figure them out as I play. But the more I do them, and if I was to practice like this, it gets faster, more consistent, better. So when it comes time to do the passage in Bergvagabundin or Lean on Me, your fingers can land on that. So part of it is doing these triads and arpeggios. And we realize that this voicing is that 1-5 without the middle finger. And we can start doing that, right? So as I'm doing that, I realize that the 1 and the 5 may not be the best way to start if I want to go up, right? Might work for going down. Might do 1 and 4. In a similar way, our exercise this month in a monthly challenge. Getting smooth at those transitions and your fingers, your fingering for it. Going up and down the scale, using, making it consistent sound, right? Tempo and sound. So scales, really important to start to introduce dynamics, multi-fingered melodies, as well as trills and ornaments. So it's starting to ornament your scales as you go up. And again, triads and arpeggios that will lead to scales including multi-fingered melodies, whether it's an octave or staccato and legato. The other thing that I want you to start doing as intermediate players is whatever scale you're in, if it's a C major, to end it by going to the 5 and the 1. I have a lesson on advanced chord voicings in practice. Here's what that looks like. If I'm doing my C major scale, G, C. So not just the C major triads, but at the end of the scale that you're in, we're going to hit the fifth. And the fifth of the C scale is a G. So starting to apply not just physicality, but starting to understand chord voicings in practice and the connections between chords. So if we take the example of G major, D, G. And I want you to start to feel what that sounds like, because we see it so often in music. I want you to start, when you do your triads and arpeggios in G major, end it with a 5 to the 1. That's typically done if you see advanced piano players after a nice scale. They'll end it with a... That's what we're looking for. Left hand exercise, bigger chord jumps, including dynamics, as well as walk up and walk down chords. So, beginner accordion players, C major to G major. Great, I expect that of a beginner accordion player. Without looking, after a few months without looking, C major waltz to G major waltz. More advanced accordion players, intermediate, C major waltz with dynamics, like we were saying before, very staccato bass. Introducing dynamics, being able to control the bellows. Right, so we're going beyond just the correct fingering. Yes, you should know the correct fingering. Now we're going a step beyond. Bigger chord jumps, C major to A minor, back and forth 5 times without mistakes. I might make a mistake on the first one, but an understanding of the spaces between chords. Beautiful. Right, and the exercises become more musical. They become more flowing. The walk up and walk down bass techniques, to start to use the counter bass row. Right, the switch between people look at their left hand when they first started. I worked with a mirror and like this, lots. I sat like this for many, many times. I had just picked up the accordion, and a few months after picking it up, my friend Jeremy recorded an album, and he was asking for C major to A flat, C major to C sharp, and for the album, I sat like this. Maybe even with 2 hands for the recording. I couldn't have imagined future Ronan doing this. Missing it. Future Ronan doing a C major. Still missing it, but I had no idea how to do large bass jumps. I just was learning the accordion. I was very much a beginner back then. So, incrementally larger bass jumps that are musical, and starting to do chord movement like a walk-up bass technique. And again, going back to the agenda, applying it to the song that you're playing. So if you're playing Le Valse d'Amélie, that kind of stuff with your right hand. For the left hand, da 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 da, F to C, F to C. What a great song to practice all of those things. If you're playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps, another great song. We're starting to split up the bass. A minor with a G over A minor. This month's tune of the month, Libertango. We have that G over A minor. Ba da da da, da 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 da. Same kind of chords as well. My guitar gently weeps. That's what you're starting to see as an intermediate accordion player. You're starting to tackle accordion pieces that go beyond one note. They expect you to do multiple notes. Beyond just straight chords, they expect you to start doing seventh chords, split chords, and introducing dynamics into your playing that get the song a bit more musical. Good. I'll stop there. Hello, William Stickland. Good to see you. Let me just show you that I have lessons, obviously on 15-minute practice for beginner accordion. These are all under the basics. For intermediate accordion players, we're going beyond the basics. All the techniques for right and left hand are going to be here, whether it's advanced chord voicings in practice. What we were saying before, there are lots of examples of how to use chord voicings in songs, which songs to use, all these multi-fingered melodies, all of these techniques for your right hand, left hand, with larger bass jumps, with walk-up bass techniques, with walk-down bass techniques. All of these things you're starting to introduce. And the way to practice them is through the songs that you're learning and really paying attention. And then, in general, adding interest to your playing dynamics, volume control, transposing songs. Okay, if you feel comfortable.